So often I said thank you for your presence here today at the cathedral. So I was here just a few weeks ago. Someone before Mass said, I thought I would never see you again. So for those who are visiting, I was serving here for a few years, and now I'm serving in the middle of nowhere, 2.5 hours from here, a town called Combermere, or near Barry's Bay. And it's a privilege to be here, an honor to be here. I'm not surprised that Father Kevin is not in the sanctuary, because usually when he's the one supposed to hear confession, the line is very long. And most people don't know who will hear confessions. And so the Lord's sense of humor, some things never change. And this is one that I'm pleasantly surprised to see that. And Father Kevin was in the back, now he's going through from the sacristy, so he will appear in a few moments. So before he appears, I'll talk about him. And so I asked permission to concelebrate, because I'm not with this archdiocese, and so the practice is to ask if we can participate in the Mass, and we have a canon lawyer here, so she would quote us the canon and all that. But Father Kevin said, sure. And then, because again, Father Kevin is home alone, just like in the movie. So Father Jacques is having some time off to continue to fulfill the mission that the Lord has entrusted to him. So this was something planned a long time ago. So Father Kevin said, sure, you're welcome. Why don't you preside and preach as well? And so I'm very honored to be able to share today. And I came with Father Mark, who's a formator with me. And I came also with 4 young seminarians. And so they are the ones who will bring the offerings. And so just in a few moments, depending on how long my homily is, they will be the ones processing here. And if there are some young ladies, yes, they're very well dressed, they're handsome, but they're discerning their vocation, okay? And so you can pray for them, but from the distance. But we have actually 4 guys, and we have all their letters. The first letter of their names is A, B, C, D. So André, Ben, Colin, and Darwin. And so I hope that next year, for us, the companions, and for the diocese, we have all the other letters, B, F, G, H, up to Z. And so we need more vocation to the priesthood. And so thank you for your prayers. And as I said, I'm very overfilled with joy to be here and now at the Notre Dame Cathedral. I didn't expect that so fast after having left, I would still have the microphone in front of me. But it is great. I really feel at home. But don't take it too personal. I was also feeling at home in Houston for 11 years. And I think that in the next few days, I will also feel at home in Combermere. And so what is home? What is home? And one of the altar servers was actually home when I left, and so it was great now that we are here together to serve again. And I felt home in the hurricane, in the midst of storms, so many sufferings, unbearable heat. I'm still praying for a miraculous way to have air conditioning here in this cathedral, especially for the weddings that we have. Today is not too bad. But where is home? I think home is where your heart is. And when we don't feel at home, it is probably because we are thirsty and hungry for our eternal home. And so for many years I was saying often, Houston, we have a problem. But we should replace the word or the location, Houston, for the name, above all names, the name of Jesus. Jesus, we have a problem. Jesus, we feel that we are on our way somewhere, and we're not exactly sure where we're at. Actually, this is not part of my notes, but as we were driving from Combremere this morning to here, at some point it showed on my GPS that there was more and more traffic. And then for so long, because we were in the middle of the bush, in the middle of nowhere, I had no clue if the traffic had resolved or if I would be really on time for the Mass. So if it was fine now or even worse, because there was no connection. And so sometimes in our life, we feel that we've lost the connection. And the Lord wants to connect with us. Why? Because He loves us infinitely. And so today for me is kind of a homecoming. And today is kind of a homestaying. Why? Because as I go on retreat in the next few hours in the US, so we'll need our passports, I will be staying with Jesus. And especially, I will try to do that, but Jesus will stay with me. We're about to receive Him in a few moments, in His body, in His blood, His soul and divinity. And sometimes in the scriptures, we hear about treasure. And there are shows right now that are about treasure, one in near Halifax. But to know where our treasure is in this day and age, in 2024, we should look at where we invest. And so where do we put our money? And where do we invest our time? And so when there is someone coming to a company to try to see if they are in the right orientation, if they're doing well, this is what they will ask for usually: their budget and their timetable. And so for us as well, this is what the Lord is asking us. And so we should be able to answer to Him. And sometimes we invest in the wrong things, and the Lord always wants to extend His mercy. With Him, there is never any crash that cannot be lifted up again. And in a few moments, we'll ask for the Lord to lift up our hearts. This is what we do in the preface. And actually, as I left a few weeks ago, I had preached mostly about the preface, and I actually did that with our seminarians as well, and a few priests who were there. And so today again, I'll be choosing a preface number 6, and so this is just a number, but the words that really impact me are: in Him, in Jesus, we live and move and have our being. And so let us ask for the Lord to help us, that it really sinks in, and that we take Him really as He is, as He wants to be, the treasure in our lives. So I'm here today, and I'm here because I miss you. I'm here because I love you. In Houston, actually, and we talked about that yesterday. When I was leaving, I sang, and sorry, I don't have the voice of Kathy, and I will not ask Jennifer to accompany me. But what I sang was from Whitney Houston, and I don't have her voice either, but it was, and I will always love you. Praise the Lord. But this is actually what Jesus is singing to us. And this is why we should feel at home, wherever we're at. And if we feel that the Lord, and someone was sharing just before that on Monday, He's starting a new job. And so we can pray for him and for all those who are going back to school. Children, are you back into school? Not yet, no? Usually we say hi to each other when we're at Mass, yes. And so for you who are going back to school, the parents who will be driving more often now, today is a time to ask for the Lord to see where our investments are and where we should invest to have the best benefit that the Lord wants to give us in His infinite love and in His mercy. And so a few years ago, I was asked to move, and this is many years ago. I was a seminarian, and this was something really unexpected. And some of the seminarians prayed for me and prayed over me, And so they laid their hands on me, even though they were not priests, so this is something that we can do in a proper context. And the word that they got from me, actually they were mostly the Hispanic seminarians at the time, and so they shared the word in Spanish. But what they got from me, that was that my home was wherever the Lord was sending me, but especially that I needed to listen to the heart of Mary. And so in the scriptures, we have the beloved apostle. Who would like to be a beloved apostle? All of us. The beloved disciple. And so the beloved disciple was so beloved because he was listening to the heartbeats of the Sacred Heart of Jesus. And so the person was telling me that I needed to listen to the heartbeats of Mother Mary, as she is always connected to the Sacred Heart of Jesus with the Immaculate Heart of Mary. And so let us ask her for that grace so that we might know the rhythm that we're about to follow, so that we might continue to be able to be at the same page, on the same page than God himself. And so like the Apostle John, who rested on the heart of Jesus. And so it might seem a bit odd maybe to listen to the heart of our mother as we are grown-ups, but in the eyes of God, we're very young. And I'm looking at everyone here, we're very young because we're destined for eternity. And so we are really little children of God the Father and little children of Mother Mary. And so my last thing is I'm giving a homework. You told me that school has not started, and so there is no school homework. So the homework is just to take a mini retreat. And this, for some of you, can be only 5 minutes maybe, and this is 5 minutes more than what you did at La Rentrée the previous year, so when we went back to school. Or if you can just try to ask the Lord to help you taking this mini retreat, and it can be half an hour, and maybe write a new good habit that you would like to work on in this school year. And so not 2, not 3, only one objectives. And ask for the Lord to reveal to you what you should work on. He knows better than we do what we need to work on. And so if he reveals to you that, and if you take that seriously, what will happen is that he will give you the strength and the grace to make it happen. Doesn't mean that you will not fail sometimes, but the Lord will lift you up again. And so, Mother Mary, we come before you here at Notre Dame, and we ask you to inspire us of the one habit that as our mothers on earth were saying, did you make your bed? Or whatever it was, that Mother Mary might whisper to us, and so that in this way we might fulfill the will of the Lord with this one step for the year. Not 15 steps, but one step, a steady step, with him who is the way, the truth, and the life. Amen.